Have you ever found yourself next to someone who, on the surface, seems friendly, yet inside you, an alarm bell starts ringing, impossible to ignore? As if beyond their polite words, there were a subtle but unsettling energy, one that tightens your stomach. Have you ever felt that faint sense of unease, that intuition whispering that behind a courteous smile lies something far less pure? It's like an imperceptible yet constant vibration you can't quite put into words, one that urges you to observe the other person with fresh eyes, searching in the details for what is never openly spoken. Carl Gustav Jung, one of the greatest explorers of the human soul, spoke of a hidden force, the shadow. That part of ourselves that we repress, yet which often manifests itself precisely in our relationships with others. The shadow contains everything we don't want to see in ourselves: unspeakable desires, fears, resentments. And when denied, it still finds a way to emerge, projecting itself onto the outside world and the relationships we experience every day. When someone feels envy, anger, or resentment toward you, they may try to mask it, but never completely. The signs are there. They're subtle, but unmistakable. In this video, I'll reveal 8 telltale signs that indicate if someone close to you harbors hostility, even if they pretend otherwise. Pay particular attention to the 8th. It's the most insidious and could forever change the way you perceive certain people. Before you begin, subscribe to the Philosophia Invisible channel and join us. Every week, content on introspection, personal growth, and spirituality. Irony that stings, not humor. Hostility isn't always displayed openly. Sometimes it hides behind jokes, sarcasm, or barbs. They tease you about sensitive topics, and when you point it out, they accuse you of being too sensitive. Come on, I was just kidding. But if these jokes are repeated over and over again on the same sore points, it's not humor. It's contempt disguised as lightheartedness. It's a way to strike without exposing yourself, to send an aggressive message while remaining seemingly harmless. Jung teaches us that what we don't accept within ourselves, we often project onto others, and repeated irony can be the unconscious's way of expressing rejection. Barbs often hide unresolved emotions, jealousy, frustration, a sense of inferiority. This is why certain jokes always seem to target the same point. That's where the person feels a wound within themselves and unconsciously seeks to share it by attacking you. Often those who use this type of irony do so to assert a sense of apparent superiority, to laugh at you in front of others, to gain approval or assert their social power. But inside, something far more fragile and insecure is stirring. Silent sabotage. There are people who, feeling threatened by your growth, hinder you without telling you. They'll never do it openly, but you'll notice small signs. They hesitate to share important information, exclude you from crucial conversations, or seem to forget the very things that were essential to you. They forget to inform you, give you bad advice, make strategic mistakes at crucial moments. They apologize, they downplay the situation, but deep down you sense it's not really an oversight. It's not always a coincidence. If certain incidents happen regularly and always to your detriment, there may be an undeclared intention behind them. It's the unconscious at work, driven by envy or insecurity. Jung reminds us that repressed envy can emerge as indirect sabotage. Those who feel threatened by your potential may unconsciously try to slow you down so as not to feel inferior or left behind. It's an invisible, yet very real struggle that often occurs between people who seemingly support you, but inwardly fail to accept your growth. Undeclared competition. Have you noticed that every time you talk about your accomplishments, the other person immediately has something better to say? It's not just self-centeredness. Those who feel threatened by your success will constantly try to outdo you, Every achievement you make is seen as a personal threat, even if it isn't. Instead of supporting you, they respond with immediate comparison, almost as if to prove that they too are worthy or can do better. Your every joy becomes a mirror for them, reflecting what they haven't yet achieved. This constant comparison isn't always explicit, but you can sense it in their tone, their comments, and the tension that builds when you share something beautiful. Sometimes, instead of sincerely congratulating them, they change the subject or divert attention to themselves. Jung explains it clearly. Shadow projection arises from the rejection of one's own unresolved parts. Those who haven't made peace with their own internal dissatisfaction tend to view others' victories as provocations. Instead of admiring the other's achievements, they feel compelled to compete, as if only one of them can emerge. Support only in appearance. There are people who seem present, but never truly are. They talk about being close, but pull back when your vulnerability emerges. They offer comfort with words, but when the moment calls for real presence, they disappear or become vague. When you need them, they withdraw. They elegantly slip away with phrases like, "I was thinking of you," or "I wish I could have been there," but in reality, they're not there. When you get something nice, they can't seem to show they're truly happy for you. They don't smile sincerely. They don't celebrate with enthusiasm. Their words seem correct, but they lack warmth. This emotional coldness isn't always easy to see, but over time, their silences, their excuses, their indifference at crucial moments speak louder than words. You realize that their affection is conditional, selective, and that their support only manifests when it doesn't make them uncomfortable. Jung would tell us that this attitude reflects an inner distance. Those who are out of touch with their own authentic emotions are unable to genuinely connect with those of others. If the video is helping you see certain dynamics with new eyes, subscribe to Philosophia Invisibile now and join our channel to support our work. Control masquerading as caring. It's for your own good. Does this phrase sound familiar? Some people want to control you, but they do it under the guise of helping you. They present themselves as wise guides, as caring presences, but their every gesture conceals a subtle desire for direction and domination. They give you unsolicited advice, question your every decision, and insinuate that you can't do it alone. They always suggest the safest path, even when it goes against your desires. And if you try to deviate from their guidance, they make you feel guilty as if you're disappointing them. Often these people aren't aware of their behavior. They truly believe they're doing you good, but in reality they're projecting their fears, limitations, and unresolved insecurities onto you. It's a subtle form of control, hidden behind affection, but slowly eroding your independence. And the more you rely on them, the more you lose faith in your own intuition and judgment. This creates a dysfunctional bond where love is conditional and advice becomes a disguised imposition. Behind every suggestion lies an implicit message. You're not capable, leave it to me. Sometimes they make you feel small, confused, as if every initiative you take needs their approval to be valid. They sap your self-confidence little by little, while maintaining the mask of benevolence. But the point is, how do you feel after that advice? If you're more confused and dependent, it's not support, it's manipulation. It's a subtle form of psychological domination, often unconscious, that slowly undermines your autonomy. According to Jung, those who fear their own internal turmoil seek to regulate the lives of others. They project onto others the need for control they can't exercise within themselves, fueling a web of emotional dependencies that makes them feel needed, but never truly free. Veiled criticism and rumors. Behind your back hostility isn't always direct. Sometimes people say nothing to you, but a lot to others. Instead of confronting you openly, they choose the subtle route: whispers, innuendos, small comments that slowly build a distorted image of you in the eyes of others. They spread gossip, insinuations, subtle criticisms, phrases said casually, but which have the effect of a slow-acting poison. And suddenly, you notice that colleagues, friends, or acquaintances begin to treat you differently, more detached. They regard you with suspicion, avoid certain topics, or seem colder than usual. It's often a sign that someone has been working against you, silently, manipulating others' perceptions with half-truths or distorted stories. This behavior is insidious because it's difficult to prove, but it leaves profound scars. It relies on the strategic use of words, on the subtle influence of opinions that insinuate themselves as truth. Jung argues that discrediting others is a projection. Those who feel fragile inside seek to tear down those on the outside. Those who fail to recognize and address their own internal wounds project the conflict externally, seeking allies in their own discontent. It's a defensive mechanism, but also a destructive one. No joy for your achievements. True friendship is recognized in shared happiness. Those who love you rejoice with you. They are present in your successes, celebrating them with genuine enthusiasm as if they were their own. A sincere heart knows how to be moved by the light they see in another's eyes. Those who hold resentment, on the other hand, can't pretend for long. Cold responses, changes of subject, belittling remarks. Nice, but no big deal. I did something similar a while ago. Or worse yet, an awkward silence that suggests annoyance. Behind these attitudes lies a profound annoyance, not for what you've achieved, but for what your victory reflects on them. Unresolved shortcomings. When a person hasn't yet accepted their own failures or worked on their frustrations, they struggle to embrace the joy of others. Each of your achievements becomes a mirror for them, reflecting what they didn't dare to do or what they blamed themselves for not becoming. So they react by devaluing, minimizing, and distancing themselves. It's a form of defense, but also an important signal. Not everyone can sincerely rejoice in the good that happens to you. Jung teaches us that these very reactions reveal the content of the shadow, which manifests when the other unconsciously becomes a symbol of our internal conflict. The body never lies. The last signal is the most subtle and the most powerful. Because even when the words are calibrated, the tone gentle and the face smiling, the body betrays what's truly stirring within a person. It's there that authenticity, or its absence, is unmistakably revealed. Dashing glances, forced smiles, a shift in tone, a stiff posture when you talk about your victories. These are details, but the body knows, and it always communicates. Even a quickened blink, a held breath, a sudden stiffening of the muscles are signals that speak louder than 1,000 words. The body is the mirror of the unconscious, and it cannot be trained to lie. Jung said that the body and the unconscious don't lie. You can mask it with words, but you can't fake what the body expresses spontaneously. In an authentic relationship, gestures are fluid, the gaze is present, the posture is open. Where there is tension, withdrawal, micro-expressions of discomfort, there lies an unspoken truth. If you sense discomfort, coldness, tension, trust it. Your intuition is reading what rational consciousness doesn't yet grasp. It's an internal compass, a precious tool that guides us beyond appearances. Listening to it is an act of love towards yourself and your truth. Recognizing these signals is an exercise in consciousness. It shields us, offers direction, and sharpens our clarity within relationships. I appreciate you joining me on this path. Subscribe to Philosophy of the Invisible or more reflections like this, and turn on the notification bell to stay connected with future episodes. Because at times, what truly protects you is the ability to perceive what remains unspoken.